basically the units of measurements for anything that's under a micron. And for example, a red blood cell is a micron, about 6 to 7 micron across. Well, when you get below 1 micron, that's where we enter the nano realm. Nanoparticles can actually bypass the digestive tract. Nanotechnology is used widely in the pharmaceutical industry, so we're simply taking a pharmaceutical technology and applying it to the nutraceutical world. There's been multiple clinical studies showing that CBD is anywhere between 6% and 11% bioavailable when orally ingesting it. So creating a nanoparticle takes that from a low end of 6% to a high end of possibly 100% bioavailability, because you completely bypass the digestive tract. Yeah, I've been in the dietary supplement industry for quite some time. My first formulations were around 1992. I developed my own research and development facility in 1994. So I have formulated right now well over 1,400 dietary supplements. I've always been heavily interested in and involved in increasing absorption and bioavailability. In fact, I was awarded a patent for a absorption enhancing technology that I developed. I developed it back in the late 90s, was awarded a patent in 2004. As soon as I finished that, I started looking at what's next, what's better. Back in 2012, I started looking at nanotechnology, specifically from a researcher who was then at MIT. He's now a professor emeritus at University of Boston. This is Dr. Bob Nicolosi, Robert Nicolosi, world-renowned, over 250 published white papers in nanotechnology. And he and a companion of his, Dr. Srikant Kakumanu, also widely published researcher in nanotechnology. I have mentored with them, studied with them, corresponded with them, and learned all I could about nanotechnology and nanoparticle size creation. And that got me highly interested in using that technology and what they were doing in the pharmaceutical world into the nutraceutical world. Using the methods and technologies that I learned from him, we were able to duplicate that work in the nutraceutical world and get some pretty amazing results. There are several different methods for testing nanoparticle size. One of the most recent or most up-to-date methods is what they call blue light scattering technology, where they actually shoot, light particles into your solution, and similar to sonar, what bounces back will give you a good description, I guess, of the particle size. Those units are quite expensive. They're not widely available, and so you get people that are claiming nano size when they may not be nano size because they don't have the right type of equipment or don't do testing at all. When we first got our equipment in and we started playing with our equipment, and it was very expensive, very high end. This is stuff that's used by the pharmaceutical companies. We started testing other products out there that said nano right on the label, right? Nano this and nano that. And none of them, we had 34 different products that we found online, whether it was via online retailers like Amazon or Super Vitamins or wherever we got them from. And we even found some OTCs that claimed they were nano off the shelf. Not one of them, with our blue light scattering technology machine that we have here, tested for actual nanoparticles. But what you need to understand about nanotechnology, it's not just about the equipment. The equipment is like literally 10 to 20% of the equation. It's the formula. You've got to have the right compound with the right solutions, the right stabilizers. The formula is probably 80% of creating a nanoparticle, and the machinery or equipment is the remaining 10 or 20%. And keeping a nanoparticle stable is where that formula becomes super important, because look, using equipment, I can make a nanoparticle out of anything for a few minutes. Yeah. But because of the ionic charges in those molecules, they want to tend to cluster together again, and literally within a matter of a few minutes or a few hours, your product won't be nano anymore. So it doesn't matter whether you run it through the right machine or not, you've got to have the right formula. Yeah, the science behind what we do. I think the experience, what we have, the technology that we bring to the field. We already know that the dietary supplement industry has a problem with low bioavailability. Nothing's changed in the industry literally since the 50s. Well, again, look at Mark Zuckerberg with that paradigm shift, what he did with social media, okay? That's what nanotechnology is going to do for the dietary supplement industry. It will become the new norm. Nano is the technology of the future. It will be a not too far distant date where people will say, if your dietary supplement isn't nano, I don't want to take it. That day is coming.